Alright, let's get it set up. All right. Well, here we are live. I just wanted to come on live tonight, and I'll give it a few minutes. I just want to kind of discuss the King Diamond set that I built and some of the props, and share with you some of the difficulties and challenges, and some of the really cool things that I was able to come up with, and you know, and share those with you folks. Give it a few more minutes here, and but what an awesome looking figure, right? Yeah, he's a special kind of performer for sure. But wait for see how many folks we got lined up on here. I want to make sure I got everything set up right. All right, so let me turn this little lamp on. I've got the roof off of it for now, just because I want to be able to share with you all some of the inner details of the diorama. And I want to, let's see, are we, yeah, we're able to see comments. Okay, cool, right on. Just wanted to make sure that everything is set up here. Okay, cool. Hey, what's going on, Snapface? I know you are, man. I appreciate it. I appreciate it, man. It's not the quantity, it's the quality, right? Anyway, so, man, yeah, I just wanted to get on here and kind of go over some of the really cool things about this set here, and some of the things that were a bit of a challenge, and kind of just chit-chat for a bit. I didn't have time to do any building tonight on anything for a live stream, because honestly I've got so much built already. I got to get some photography done. You know, and so we I just wanted to get on here and kind of discuss this, man. That light should make the pic more authentic. Which one is that? Which light are you talking about? The one over the overhead here? Yeah, this light here, and it really does. In that picture that I posted on, yeah, you come for the quality. Thanks, man. You know, that light there, I built that, and you can see it actually. The reason I wanted to add that light in is, well, because I needed something hanging from like the ceiling to look kind of cool, and to just give it that other layer of, you know, coolness. And with a small LED overhead, it just picks up a lot of the fog and stuff, and creates all these little beams and stuff that are always really cool. The more light you have, you know, little lights you have in a set, and then you introduce fog into there, you can come up with some really cool light patterns and things. One of the challenges in that light, though, that people probably don't often think about is when I built that light. Let me get it out and I'll show you. When I built this light, I actually recessed a 5mm hole inside the lamp shade to pull the light up into the light shade, because what happens is when you're down low shooting and you have an overhead light, you're going to see the light source, and then you've got this super bright glaring hot spot in your photo that you can't get around. And so the only way around that is to end up changing your shooting angle, and you don't always want to do that. And so I'll show you this light. Let me pull it out of this piece of foam, and I'll show you just how simple it looks. So we've got let me come over here with this. Oh yeah, right on. Yeah, see, so inside here I've got the light. I don't want to shine it right at the camera because it'll probably be glaring. But so I've got a 20th of an inch lip around the lamp shade, and then there's a 5 mil hole inside here, and the light pulls up into there so that you can't actually see the bulb. So that when you're shooting at a low angle, you don't get the light bulb in the shot. And so that's what I did with that. You know, yeah, if you want to see that one really cool, man, check it out on my website. It's just really, really cool on my website. Instagram, you're limited to their ratios and stuff, and you get a lot of cropping. But the 16:9 did pretty good with it. But yeah, it's really cool on my website, man. So, and then you can kind of see here the bolt patterns and how I rusted and grimed up the lampshade here. And you know what's really cool, man? I'm going to tell you, let me shut this off. One thing that's really cool is when you have an idea, and I've gotten a better grip on how to model things in the modeling software, like the CAD software. When you break everything down into just basic shapes, it's so much easier. This is a circle. These are circles, you know. That's a circle. This is all just circles. Then you can kind of start to build and create your pieces. And at the end of the day, you know, I'll tell you another thing. I didn't want this wire to be seen like black and white wire, so what I did, I didn't have a sheet to put around it, so I put hot glue on here, and I just broke up the pattern of the wires, and then I spray painted a rust color over it so it looked like rusty wire hanging from the ceiling, and it worked out pretty good. And so, you know, you've got a really cool looking light here that, for being 3 volts, really can create some dramatic overhead lighting on a figure like this, or any of the figures that we tend to shoot. You know, like what I do, I like the horror figures and stuff like that, and they call for a lot of drama and overhead lighting, things you wouldn't normally do like in a regular person portrait lighting. Like you might not do overhead lighting as the single light source or the main light source in a stormtrooper or something, but in the figures that I shoot, overhead lighting is like a go-to, you know, because it just creates that big amount of drama, and it creates those shadows, and it's cool because you can take the figure and you can have the figure leaning into the light just a little bit. You can feather the light toward the edge. You can have the light in front and his face just coming into the light. So overhead lighting, there's a lot of options that are really cool. You know, that are neat to work with. The old looking wire. Yeah, I'll tell you what it is, man. I've got this bundle of 18 gauge wire. There's a couple ways you can do it, and honestly, I didn't have all the material I needed to do that, so I kind of had to make it up as I went on this particular light. So I didn't want this showing in the photo, so I just remember like I did those trees, I just hot glued up and down the length of the wire, and once it dried, it broke up the pattern of the wire, and then I just spray painted it a rust color, and that kind of gave me that cool looking wire that you see. And honestly, you don't need much of it in frame anyway, so I made this long. But if I did this again, what I would do, I would take and I would put a long, like a sleeve, perhaps like a cloth or something like that, and a wire inside, and then I would heat shrink the ends, and then I would paint the ends. and that way the wire that's inside would actually let me pose and hold the pose of the wire, and I could bend it in any shape that I wanted. That's the way that I would do it next time. But this time, that's how I did it. And it worked out. It worked out pretty nice. And these are just AA batteries in here. You can buy these pre-wired cases on Amazon, and then you just solder it up to whatever. I buy a bag of bulbs that are just LED lights with leads. There's no wires on them, just the anode and the cathode lead, and then I just solder those all on there. And so that's the way I can put lights and all kinds of different things. I do prefer when I have the option to use batteries that are like these pill batteries. I like these. Sometimes it depends on what you're putting something into. The AA's can't hide very easily, but then you put something like this in there and they hide easier. And so it just depends on what I want to make. I got to put a different battery in there to for whatever I'm trying to hide and make it easier, you know. But okay, cool. I have a similar light that came with a diode bulb, but it's just black plastic. Wonder if I can make it look rusted metal. Yeah, send it to me, man, for sure. You know, and then I'll show you another thing that I made. Now this teapot here, I'll tell you. Oh, let me show you this table first. Let me grab this whole thing. Okay, so when I 3D print on the PLA printer, and I'm for example, this is recessed. So when this prints, you can't print into like thin air, and so you have to be able to print onto something that can support the print. So it creates what's called infill or supports. This is what infill is, and this is actually the infill of this print. So what I did is I took that, and I'm like, man, cool. I modeled a pair of wrought iron kind of base, 3 legs, and a center column, kind of like in, you know, they had that 3-leg kind of look that they did back, you know, in the Victorian, some of those old round wooden tables and things. They had these 3 legs. So, and that's all I did. So instead of making a whole other piece, I just used the infill, and then I muddied it up a bit and created a table. And this table here, like I say, it stands just fine, and it works great. So that's another piece that I made for this set here. And a lot of times, you know, you can't really use the scraps and bits and pieces that come off of the supports in a resin print, but these infill pieces and these support pieces, they're a great way to save, a great thing to save and be able to paint up just some random generic colors and just throw into a back of a scene somewhere in an alley or something. They don't have to really be anything. They can just like pieces of junk in an alleyway, and it's a great way to make use of those pieces, you know. This here I'm really pretty proud of, because while it looks simple, it is anything but simple. The simplest things are the dangest hardest. I'm proud of this for a couple reasons. Firstly, because when I made this teapot, I had never used a function called the revolve function in the Fusion 360 software. And basically this is just, I go in and I draw the shape, and then I put a center axis in there, and then I revolve that half a shape around the axis, and it creates a full shape. And then I just manually draw using a spline tool the handles and on there, and the spout and the handle. And then I took King Diamond's logo and I added that to the top of this teapot. And so this piece of this print, you know, teapot, I just really happy with it. And the storyline behind this teapot in the album Them is, you know, the wheelchair and the teapot go together because his grandma, who gets, she's coming home from the asylum, and you know, she has this rocking chair, and she's got this wheelchair, and she goes up in her room and she drinks this bloody tea. And this bloody tea, it causes her to have all this interaction with all these spirits and voices and demons, and it's just a cool storyline. But this teapot is critical in that, because the bloody tea is what makes it all happen. And so it's pretty cool that I was able to make something like that, you know, at the last minute. Really, that took me a few minutes to get the shapes right, but once I was happy with the shapes and I printed it, man, I was really happy to have that symbol on top and everything. This isn't something you're going to find somewhere, and that's part of the magic of this 3D printing, is that when I do my toy photography, you know, if I can't make something out of foam or whatever, man, I can make dang near whatever I want and print it and have it in the photo, and that's just so awesome. Because, like, I've got the foam textures and the brick textures and the stucco, you know, and the styrene and the stuff that I carve and stuff. But unless I was a good person that worked with clay or something, I couldn't make a teapot. And I'm not one for working with clay, trust me. I'm kind of fumbly with my fingers, and you know, so it gives me the opportunity to be able to create some things that really I would otherwise not be able to have in my toy photography sets, and for that I'm really excited. I'll show you another really cool thing. This tank here, I was going kind of off of a World War I flamethrower style tank. I didn't finish it yet, but what I did was I added it in this set here. And, you know, I've got a cutoff valve here. I've got a little crossover valve in there. I've got 3 legs on the bottom. And so this fits in the scene nicely, because it can be some kind of oxygen, some kind of, you know, chemical lobotomy gas or whatever. Whatever you want it to be, man, you can put this in the scene and it's there. And this is actually printed on a resin printer. And man, I mean, if you look at this, if the camera will focus on this, it really is a little detailed, little tiny little thing with the knobs and the gas connectors and stuff. I mean, it's really pretty cool, man. Yeah, I can't do it with clay, you know. And about the best I can do with clay is making a damn donut. I bought all the stuff to work with clay, snap face, and I love the fact that clay is so easy to get textures and stuff in. But man, I'm just too fumbly with it, and I'm not delicate enough with it. And you know, I'm like a bull in a china shop sometimes, and clay isn't really going to be my medium. I know my limitations, and clay is my limitation. But this 3D printing now, and this foam and stuff, obviously I can do foam, but you know, I'm really happy with the amount of tools available to help a person create a scene that really is something that you're proud of, or that you're excited about, and that keeps you enthused enough to do another project, you know. And yeah, donut, man, I made some cool donuts, and I made some cool looking toast. But yeah, I made a cool plunger to go with my 3D printed toilet, but clay isn't really my go-to. And I imagine if I dedicated some time to it, then I would probably get it down pretty good. But you know what? I'm not as motivated to do clay as maybe I might ought to be. I don't know. Let me show you this bed, because this is pretty cool. You saw this when I made the legs really long. I think it was like up here. I don't know what the heck I was thinking. But so this is a resin, a PLA print, and it would fit on my resin printer, but it wasn't necessary that I printed it in resin. That's just overkill, I think, because it's going to be all rusted up and stuff anyway. But I actually, you know, put the screen in here. The screen is inset inside there. You can see underneath I've got the crossbar supporting this. And, you know, I did make a bed out of foam for Jason before. I made a really cool looking bed that was made out of like mismatched pieces of scrap looking wood and stuff like that, you know, and it looked really nice. But And there's some advantages to doing it with the foam, but at the end of the day, I needed something that, you know, was going to take rust and some different things, and something that I could put screen in. And I just wanted something more rigid, and I didn't want to go with foam on this bed. And so I modeled this in the software and printed this bed out, man. And that's a bed. Listen to that. That thing, that's solid, you know. And so it really is something that can take a little bit of abuse. The only points that are glued are the headboard and the footboard. The whole frame itself is one solid piece, and so that's pretty durable. What I used to glue this wasn't hot glue either. I used the two-part epoxy where you have there's like two gels in one deal, and you mix them together, kind of like a JB Wells kind of epoxy, but it was a Gorilla Glue epoxy. And that really is strong, and that gives you a really strong bond on there. And you saw I'm going to show you this heater that I did. This was another test. One of the things I'm proud of myself for this build was because I used so many different kinds of materials that I hadn't used before, and so that really, yeah, the bed looks better, huh? It was pretty dang high, wasn't it? but I was able to use so many different kinds of materials in here. Styrene, 3D prints, styrofoam, you know, just different things that helped me make a complete set. And I did do this old radiator heater here, and a rusted out deal. One of the neat things about this, and though this might not be as elegant as one of the Victorian style with all the swirls and curls and filigree, but I didn't really need that. And I will say that this was a learning process making this rascal, no doubt. I mean, everything you see, you know, I have to model. I have to make little feet on there, the pipes that go from one end to the other, all the whatever these are, these deals that hold the oil or whatever, you know, and then the cutoff valve, and then rust it all out and make a cool little, you know, radiator heater here. That was a bit of a learning curve also. Oh, I don't know why I have this loom cube on. Let me shut this off. And so that was, you know, pretty neat too. I just, for some reason, I had it stuck in my mind. I wanted a radiator heater in here. And by gosh, if I get it in my mind, you can bet I've got to get it done. Yeah, it's just the way my brain works. Sometimes that's good, sometimes it's bad. Yeah, it does fit the horror scene. And something about it, you know, I looked and saw some cool ones online, and I'm like, man, these are cool looking. And, you know, I just had it in my mind that I wanted the radiator heater in there, and I did it. And I think the first thing that I printed on this set that was a 3D print is actually this window sill here. Let's see if I can pop it out. And I will tell you, Snapface, I've made window frames before from foam or from balsa wood, but they are not the same as a 3D printed window frame. I tell you what, let me take this out. The precision and the accuracy between the panes and the wood, when you 3D print it, it just is awesome. Let me pull it out of there and show you. Maybe I'll get it out with this. But I'll never again make a window frame out of balsa wood or foam, just because this way here, I'm just so impressed with it. I just really I really like it. So let me bring it over. And firstly, that hole, you can make your window frame and you can cut the hole and it fits perfectly in there nicely. It's really cool. So here's a window frame. This was the first thing that I 3D modeled for this set was, well, No, no. For this wall, the first thing I 3D modeled was the wheels for the wheelchair. But for this wall, it was the, and let me turn this a little so you can see the wall, so you can kind of get an idea what I'm talking about here. As I knock everything down, I think you can see the wall a little better now. Yeah, don't break. No, it sounds like that because it's tight because I got the screen around it. But you can see there's the wall, and it fits perfectly in there. You know, it's just, it's great, man. I won't ever again. I couldn't do this awesomely with balsa wood, or wooden dowels, or foam, or the other methods that I've used for windows before. And I, you know, I talk about the 3D printing, and I say that, you know, I want to use it sparingly, and I do. But there's a real value in being able to use it in stuff like this. You know, there's a real value in it, and it creates a real a great effect in trouble, in areas that might be a troubled area for you know, like window frames or pipes or whatever, you know. I don't use it for doors because I like making the doors out of out of foam. I like that for some reason. I like making the wood doors out of foam. One of the bad things about 3D printing, and maybe it's not true for everybody, but for me it is I cannot get grain or textures into a 3D print. I have to actually paint them on the surface. Whereas like those doors in the back, those are actually wood grain doors because I made them out of foam and I put all the lines in them. You can't, you know, you can make textures in 3D prints, but I don't think, you know, I don't think that whatever textures and rusts and things like that you want to put on a 3D print actually goes on the surface. So you can't like 3D print, you know, a wood plank. You know, you could 3D print something in the shape of a wood plank, and then you got to make it look like a wood plank. So, that being said, you know, but it really is, man. And I'm fortunate, and I'm happy that, you know, I'm able to exercise my abilities, and I'll put that in later. It's an articulating window. I'm happy that I'm able to push the limits of what I know and learn new things. See how nice that went in? That's just awesome, man. I'm fortunate that, you know, it's I'm able to, like I say, learn and grow and learn new things and use different tools and stuff like that, you know. Definitely. And then I've got some chain here on the wall that I spray painted and rusted out, and I 3D printed. Let me show you one of those up close. I've got one over here somewhere. It's a little plate. I know I got one over here somewhere. I've got an extra one over here. It's a little plate with a here it is, with a hole in it and some bolts that that mounts to the wall to run the chain through. And I made this also. Things like this I don't think I would have made for the set. And so had it not been for 3D printing, because what would my option be for this? If I was going to make this, it would have to be a clay ball with a polymer clay with a hole drilled in it. And then, you know, maybe I could have modeled this out of foam or wood. Or this could have been a bead. It could have been a wooden bead I could have got. So there are ways I could have done it, but the 3D printing, it's really quick. And I'm fortunate, like I say, to be able to use some of these tools and stuff, you know. No doubt about that, man. But that's where I'm at with this build. I did that one photo. I'm going to do some more probably start on some more tomorrow, because I got some other stuff I got to get done. But you know, I'm really really happy with how everything's coming out, man. No doubt about that. You know, this was a fun set, and I really had a good time building it. And there's so much more you can always add to it. I went through and I looked up what you call it, different devices and different instruments and trays and tables back in the old, you know, mental asylums. And some of those things were, god dang, creepy as hell, man. You had nothing coming. If you were in an asylum back, you know, in the Victorian era, or, you know, like 35, I think, was Victorian era, like 1901 or something. Man, if you were in an asylum during that time, you had no love. It was all bad for you. Yeah, I am glad, too, I got to the point. Sometimes, you know, there's the balance of taking pictures and building this stuff. And I don't want to take... I want to take pictures that are great and that have a feel to them. And I don't want to carry on the build so long, you know, because truly you could just keep on building stuff. But I try to keep a balance in there, knowing that I got to get some photography done, because that's the end of it. You know, that's the end result of everything that I do is I want to take great photos, and I want to photograph these cool figures, man, inside some cool scenes. And I always, sometimes I struggle with, you know, I go through a few changes while I do it, and I modify things, or I think, you know, as I'm going, you know, how to if it doesn't look quite right, I get stuck on it for a minute and really, really, you know, focus and dedicate all my energies to, you know, figuring out how to make it photograph right and look right, and probably more than I need to, but that's just the way my brain works, you know. Yeah, they were, man. They were, hey, Kevin. Hey, thanks, man. Yeah, you're right, man. It really has changed things. For sure, you know, and you know, and back on the 3D printing thing, like you mentioned, Kevin, you know, I first got the 3D printer, and you can print a whole bunch of stuff from files that people have already made, like on Thingiverse and stuff like that, or you can buy STL files, or you can actually buy completed 3D prints of stuff. But man, if I had to go through and hey, okay, I want to try to find a place I can buy an old rusty mental asylum bed or an old Victorian wheelchair. Man, I don't think, you know, if I did find them, and I did find ones that I liked, they'd probably be pretty expensive by the time you added it all up and made your set and did your photography. So being able to make the files, for me, is just really, it really frees up a lot of money that I would otherwise spend. I guess it does, but I just spend it on other stuff now. but you're right, man. Hey, Fly Ride, what's going on, buddy? Good to see you, man. Good to see you on here. You know, and so you're right about that. It really, there's a lot of freedom in the 3D printing, and more so when you're able to come up with things on your own that you can model and print and paint and photograph. There's a big freedom in that, without a doubt, you know. But that is for sure. Yeah, there's my my light. Hey, Flower, we're just discussing this current set that I built here, and I started doing some photography on. But how's them stairs coming? Snap Phase, you got anything? You figure out another way to get that done, or how's that all working out? Yeah, Kevin, you're definitely right. There's a big freedom in it, for props and things like that. that, you know, you'd otherwise have to come up with ways to build them out of wood or clay or foam or, uh, you know, things like that. It would be a bit tougher. And as far as supporting props go, man, you know, I remember when I first started doing toy photography, I would still build walls and stuff out of foam, but there weren't many supporting props. It was just mostly like the figure with some dramatic lighting and, some depth to it or something. But nothing, no real supporting props that were able to tell a story. And that's what I was kind of missing when I went back and looked at all my photos. I'm like, yeah, this is a great picture of Freddy Krueger. But what's he doing? He's just standing against a foam brick wall and, there's some sparks flying off of him. Wow. At the time, I was like, oh, this is epic. But the one common thing that I didn't see in the photos and that I felt short, kind of shorted on was no supporting props. You know, if I wanted a table, I had to go buy a table from the dollar store and paint it up or something. You know what I mean? And so there were no, there just weren't many supporting props that I was able to include in the sets, unless I bought stuff like dollhouse 1/12 scale stuff that just wouldn't fit the NECA figures or whatever. And so this being able to add these types of things to my photography really makes it more enjoyable because I can tell a better story. I can create a cool scene that just kind of transports you for a minute to some cool, weird, concrete, creepy room with, you know what I mean? And so that makes it fun. And mark them the slow way. Yeah, I painted the gates, but I have decided to redo the pillars. Okay. Snap face and make them the slow way. Okay. Hey, whatever works, man. For sure. But sometimes you got to do it again and again. That's for sure. No doubt about that. I saw you had what do you guys have? Blue foam out there? Is that what you guys have over there in Australia? Is the blue stuff? We have this pink foam here, and I think we have a purple foam also. Stickers of your channel. No, you know what? I don't, and I thought about that, Fly Right. I see stickers everywhere, and they look really cool, man. I really thought I should get some. I appreciate you pointing that out, man. I ought to get some. A little round sticker, man. I'll definitely get that done, and I'll tag you. I'll tag you in it or something, and let you know when I do, man. Are you on Instagram too, Fly Right? Or are you just on YouTube, man? If you can, hit me up on Instagram or Facebook. Everything for me is insightful imagery, so I'm easy to find. But hit me up on those platforms too, man. I'll definitely get some stickers made. It's funny you say that because I've been thinking about it, but I'm like, it's just another thing to buy. But they're not really that expensive, but it's just another thing to buy, and what would I do with them, and But there's some cool looking stickers out there. I see them all over the place, man. You're right. I should get some stickers, man. Good point, man. I definitely get some made, man. But you flying any drones right now, or what are you doing out there with that? The last drone deal I did was the negative tide. I haven't done any drone things since then. It rained out here quite a bit, but there's not much call for drone stuff right now for me. So I haven't, that was the last thing I did. That and the work for the county for the bridges, but I haven't done much other drone stuff lately here. I think I need to look at my license too. I need to see. That renews this year sometime too. My license for that. I think I need to go get my recurrent. Take that sometime in the next few months. I need to check that out, man. You got a bunch made sticker. Yeah, I got a bunch made from stickers from Mule. Okay, I'll check that out, man. Yeah, Mule. I've heard that name before too. I think I seen them on Facebook or something with some advertisement on there or on Instagram or something. But yeah, no, stickers look cool, man. I remember when I was a kid, man, we were in school, we used to have albums. That was the thing you did. You had picture albums full of different kinds of stickers. Puffy stickers, Scratch and Stiff stickers, Googly Eye stickers, all kinds of different stickers, man. And, man, I had albums full of stickers, man. I like stickers. But, yeah, you know. I'll definitely check it out, you know. You going to be doing any more, Snapface, you going to be doing any more of your, the tutorials? I seen you had done a couple on your page, man. You know, fly right now. It's really cold here. I got the Mavic 3. Mavic 3. I haven't flown in a while. The last year I flying Puerto Rico. Man, sweet. Sweet. How is it to travel with your drone and stuff? I never have. Is it you just no problems, no issues, easy enough? Mavic 3, man, you're doing big stuff. I still got my Mavic 2 Pro. I sold the Phantom 4. It just kept I just didn't really have I missed the 60 frames a second 4K, but there's just no portability in it, man. And sometimes I just want portability. So I sold that one reluctantly, but I did sell it and just put the money in something else. But it's just, the technology, you know, it's just getting older on that one, and it's an awesome drone. But I did sell that one, and just stuck with the Mavic Pro 2. You know, it's nice and portable and does a great job. I wish I had 4K 60, but you know, first world problems, I guess, right? You know, no doubt about that. But hey, well, I'm gonna get on out of here, I guess, man. And Snapface too. I gotta think of something to do for Sir Dork's hand challenge deal. I keep thinking about that, but man, I don't know what I would do. You know, I got to come up with something for that. Maybe I'll enter in that. I don't know. I haven't made up my mind yet what I want to do with that, man. Oh, okay. Yeah, you made a few on his channel. They're following on Instagram. Yeah, right on. Yeah, Snapface. Yeah. No, you know, and everybody has something to contribute, man. I mean, you know, sometimes people, I think they think, well, I don't want to put a deal out there, you know, because I don't want to sound like I'm some kind of, you know, expert or something. But man, I mean, even me, you know, sometimes I think about putting stuff out there, but then I think, oh no, people probably already know that. But you'd be surprised what people don't know. But it's just common to you, you know. And so I just put stuff out there regardless. You know, it's going to help somebody. And then it satisfies my need to share, and it satisfies my need to be social, and it helps somebody out, and you know, it's just fun along the way, man. I think you have until the 28th for that challenge. Yeah, it was interesting. I put my batteries in the lipo bags and basically put everything in a basket so they could inspect it. Oh, right on, Fly Right. Yeah, we were gonna go to Italy, man, and then COVID hit. So that was the last vacation I planned. I'm like, you know what? I'm not planning nothing now, man. We got our passports and everything, and we're like, let's go to Italy, you know, see Rome and go down to Venice, and I'm not even joking. As soon as we did that and got our passports back, COVID hit, and it hit there the worst. So we got bad luck, you know. Oh yeah, Snapface. Now, I mean, you know, you ain't even got to be an expert. I don't know who in toy photography is an expert. I don't know if there is a thing as expert. I think you always learn. You know, you always grow, no matter how much you've been doing it. But sometimes we might psych ourselves out that, you know, I've only been doing it this amount of time or that amount of time. So what do I have to offer somebody else? But man, you know, there's things I pick up from people who've only been doing it for a short amount of time, and there's things I pick up from people who've been doing it for a while. Man, everybody's got something to offer, and it keeps you engaged in the community, the photography community and the toy photography community, and I tell you what I do. A lot of channels that I watch personally on YouTube are dollhouse channels, because there are some really, really awesome techniques and stuff that dollhouse people use to create things that, you know, that you might want to add to your set, like carpets, little rugs, little couches, or you might want to make a little sofa, you know. And hell, I don't know. If I had to make a sofa, I mean, yeah, I could probably cut out some cardboard and put some foam board in there and put a covering over it. But by going to some of these other channels, man, like dollhouse channels and things like that, man, I find out some really cool techniques. And I find myself through the day just listening to these dollhouse channels throughout the day while I drive, and coming up with all kinds of cool ideas. But I forget most of the ideas by the time Friday comes for me. You know, I'm excited about the ideas all week, and then Friday comes and I forget everything I listened to all week. So I don't know. Yeah, we went before the latest wave of COVID. Right on, yeah. Yeah, it's not an easy challenge to think of something original. Yeah, that's true. Oh, Kevin, you're going to do the hand photo challenge too? Right on. I got to think of something, but honestly, I've been so wrapped up in getting this done and happy now that it's done. I can do some photography on it. That the hand challenge, I don't know if the hand challenge, I don't think it has to be outside. It could probably be inside, because I don't really go outside. Where I live, you go outside with your camera gear, you're going to get it stolen. They're going to shoot you and snatch all your stuff. So I don't I don't want to go outside with my stuff. You know, but to do something inside, I don't know, that'd really be a challenge. Maybe I'll come up with something. We'll see. But I'll be interested to see what you guys come up with for sure, man. You know, I saw your snap face. Did you do one where you cut your finger off? How'd you do the finger cut off thing? That's pretty cool. I saw that. Oh, your wife made a couch? Yeah, right on. Yeah, my wife made well, she sewed the mattress for me, and that was cool. But you know, like I said, those dollhouse channels. There's another diorama channel. I listen to him sometimes. But he doesn't do photography. He does photography, but he doesn't do the what you call it, toy photography. He builds the diorama to photograph the diorama and do video of it to make it look like realistic. It's called Abandoned Miniatures, I think. I'm not even gonna lie. I look at that guy's channel and I get mad. I'm like, man, what the hell with this guy? His dioramas are so goddamn good, I don't even want to watch them. He's that kind of guy. It's like, oh, whatever, man. You know, I don't even want to see that. So, but they're really, really good, man, that guy. There's another channel that I'll watch, too. It's a Dungeons and Dragons channel, but it's called Black Magic Craft. That guy, god dang it, man. You can take, whether you're watching... Oh, and fake blood, okay. I appreciate it, Fly Right. Thanks, man. The Black Magic Craft channel. Yeah, it is too cold. I bet it is. Oh, you're in the Midwest, man. I used to live in Oklahoma. I know it gets cold. I drove truck cross country, so I know all about the cold. And man, you're not gonna see me out there in the cold. I'll stay right here in my studio. I'm good. But the channel I was talking about, Black Magic Craft, it's a Dungeons and Dragons gaming, tabletop gaming channel. But what they build on there, let me see if I can move this camera a little bit up over here. This way. So I'm not talking and you guys are looking at a board. Let's see. The Black Magic Craft, let me adjust this camera, sorry, there we go, something like that. That Black Magic Craft channel is, or Black Craft Magic, I think it's Black Magic Craft. That guy, really, really incredible builds, and he builds stuff out of foam, foam board, XPS foam. He uses Proxon a lot. He builds some really incredible stuff, and though it's small for Dungeons and Dragons, a lot of these channels, like the Dollhouses and the Dungeons and Dragons channels and stuff, you can take those same techniques and just roll them over into toy photography. So I've learned a lot from channels like that, you know, that I was able to carry over into, you know, building this kind of stuff. But man, they can that guy can build some incredible stuff. But Abandoned Miniatures, if you get a chance and you watch that, 24 Degrees, yeah. Oh, you've seen Black Magic? Yeah. He's Snapface. He's good, man. He's the one I got the idea from for the Black Mod Podge. Great idea for Black Mod Podge. And a matter of fact, on my dioramas, especially this one here, it's all coated in Black Mod Podge, and then I dry brush the surface. But when I want that, you know, sometimes I'll do a different color Mod Podge, like I'll do a gray or a dark black or whatever. But that was a good tip, and I got that from him. And matter of fact, from that channel also, I got the idea for making the bricks. Let me grab one of these. Well, I'll show you. I got the idea for making brick in the most painfully slow way possible. Making brick panels like this out of individual bricks. I got that from that channel. Great channel, man. That guy has got some really, really good stuff on there. This is really a painful way to make bricks, but it really comes nice, without a doubt. See, can y'all see my messy cameras and ball heads and lenses? Oh my God, I got a mess. I should have turned the camera the other way. But anyway, so yeah, you know, Snapface, if you like miniature, check out Kathy Marat. Yeah, 24 Degrees, fly right. Yeah, I'll pass on 24 Degrees, man. I've done my time in the snow. I'm not trying to go out there and do photography. If I want to make snow photos, I'll make snow inside here. A little flower dusting or whatever. I'm not going to go out in the snow. I like the comfort and the privacy and the quietness of my own little man cave hole, you know. But at any rate, that wall, yeah, it really does. Man, you know, and this was a Black Mod Podge wall also. What I did on this is I did the back with the MDF board, and once I hot glued down my whole line of bricks, then I just coated the whole thing with Black Mod Podge. But I didn't just like slop it on there. I just built the coats up, you know, like in two or three coats, light coats, because if you go too heavy with it, you can fill in all the texturing that you did on the bricks with the Mod Podge, and then the bricks will look smooth. But yeah, you can't make a brick wall like this without doing that technique. And I got that from Black Magic. He's got a great channel, man. Got a great channel. It's funny when you see the wall like this, and then you look at the side and you see the pink foam. You're like, you know. But I got to find something to use this in now. But anyway, so, well, it was 85. Yeah, I bet it was 85 in Puerto Rico, man. You know, but it used to be really cold when I lived in Oklahoma. It'd get really cold, but then, you know, I drove cross country truck also, and so it would be Wyoming, Idaho, you know, Kansas, Montana, all the really cold places out there on 80 especially. I've done my time in the cold and I like it. You can send me all the pictures of the cold and the beautiful snow that you like, and I'll like every one of them, but I don't want to be in it. I'm good. Yeah, thanks, Fly, right? Yeah, it's, you know, and I haven't figured out what I want to do with this wall yet. Like I say, it's a short wall. My idea on it was to put something like, I was going to build up a pile of dirt. on a road. I was going to have a roadway, and then I was going to have the wall here and a pile of dirt built up behind it with a structure, and then some steps, you know, going up to that level of whatever I was going to put up there, but haven't got there yet. So yeah, because these match really nicely, and I actually did the steps on two sides. So I've got two different looks, so I can flip them around. But yeah, no, this wall is really, really cool. I really like it, but I just got to find a use for it. Now that I have it, and I just got to find something to use it on. All right. Well, I'm going to jump off of here, fellas. Man, I appreciate everybody coming in and keeping me company, listening to me ramble and sharing all your updates and everything, man. I'm going to get out of here and go inside and probably drink some coffee. And I don't know what else I'm going to do, but I've got something to do. My wife will find something for me to do, I'm sure. But, you guys take care. And I'll see you on Instagram and Fly Right. I'll get some stickers, man, and I'll let you know. Without a doubt, I appreciate everybody chiming in and spending some time with me. And I'm going to do some more photography on this set tomorrow. And I'll post those pictures as well. Anyway, you guys take care. Have a great night. I'm going to shut this show down. And take care. I appreciate you spending the last 55 minutes